I've heard the MCR is going to an arena cross deal for next year. They're not coming back
It's
to
already
Supercross.
it's already done. They're not coming
Boom.
back.
Oh, there you go.
Told
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
Told you.
Okay.
Told you.
So
All right.
what did they do?
Now,
Did
here's
Honda
where
just
here's
swap?
where all the crazy wrenches were getting thrown in. So the lowdown is Bobby Hewitt was trying to get that Honda money to start his team. He was trying to get the Smart Talks money with anticipation of getting, obviously, Anderson. Those two have a very tight relationship together. So Bobby has been fighting extremely hard to get the Honda deal in place and has essentially given up at this point, is what I'm hearing. So with that happening, we're not going to see Hewitt come in because, in my opinion, that was the big linchpin in this whole. Yeah, Tomac was a big curveball, but the big linchpin was let's assume Tomac, none of this happened. If Hewitt comes in and he gets that Honda money and he plucks Anderson away, because the word was it was going to be Anderson and two 250 riders, which I think would be awesome because now Bobby, yet again, offering more people a chance to get a job, mechanics, riders, drivers, everything. If Bobby had gotten the Honda money, Anderson goes with Bobby. Now think about what the narrative would look like. Because if you're Forkner and you didn't have 2 seasons of being hurt all the time, well, you're an immediate shoe-in to fill in Tomac's spot because Anderson's going to Bobby's team. The big question is Dean Wilson's not getting a ride with Husky. He's not being re-signed, so you got an opening there. So now let's think about this. Anderson leaves. You've got Dean leaves. So now you have 2 openings on a 450 program at Husky. Just stop the musical chairs and think about all the scenarios that could come out of that scenario. Now, obviously, in the last 7 days, it's changed dramatically. We know Tomac is going over to Yamaha. Well, if you look at this year's team, Yamaha had a 3-man 450 Yamaha program. You know, when you had Mookie, you had Ferrandis, and you had Plessinger. Well, now Tomac is there for sure to replace Plessinger, so that frees up one spot. I'm going to go against what some of these other talking pundits said, where they're like, oh, well, Yamaha enticed Tomac to come to Yamaha. I don't think so. Word on the street, and some people I've spoken to, is Cowie did not invoke their first right of refusal, didn't even offer Tomac a contract. What's that tell you and I? That he took less money to go to Yamaha. There's no way he got paid the same money. He didn't get enticed to go. There's nowhere else for him to go.
It's just like them letting Carmichael walk, letting Stewart walk. It's a common thing.
I love this conversation because remember last time we were on the studio, we had this conversation about where's Tomac going to go? And I said to you guys that I don't think Cowie's happy with him just mailing her in anymore.
Yeah.
And that I'm not saying that makes me look 100% right, but with what Coach is saying, like it kind of proves my point a little bit.
Well, there's some personnel at Yamaha that used to work with Tomac.
Yamaha?
How the fuck am I saying?
You say Yamaha. Put a lot of emphasis on the
W
H.
on the end, bud.
Yamaha. Bro, you ain't from Nebraska.
I watch a lot of Family Guy, right?
You ain't
Fuck
from
off.
Nebraska.
I watch a lot of Family Guy, right?
Anyways,
Anyway,
yeah.
I've heard there is some staffing over there at Star. Just call it Star. That he likes working with. The one guy is a mechanic that used to work with him, and I can't think of what his name is now. He's not a mechanic per se at Star, but he's something else now, and he apparently does the setup on the bike the way Tomac really likes it. So that was something I heard, was that there's some staffing over there that he really likes. Now, the talking pundits that I listened to about this, they also said that, you know, they figured that he got thrown a bunch of money to go there. But, Coach, as you're saying, if Kawasaki didn't invoke their first right of refusal, yeah, he took less money to go for sure then.
Which, like I said, kind of proves.
He had to. There was no place for him to go. Honda's full.
Yep.
There is no Suzuki program. Yamaha was the only place he could go. Obviously, leaving Cowie, KTM is full. So this idea, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to what you're saying, I think it's a little bit of a smoke screens and mirror. They're like, oh, look at this. There's some pre-existing staff that's over at Star Yamaha. I think it's a very indirect way to take the light away from Kawasaki. Didn't want him, just like they didn't want James. They didn't even offer James another contract.
Yeah.
So you've got to put it, if you're now the rider.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So where does Cowie go from here, though?
Anderson.
You think Ando's going there?
I do. I mean, I don't know if Coach has other information.
Coach, you've been in the Mecca. Fill us in here.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any place that Anderson can go because since Bobby's team got shut down, that would have been the only one. And the other moving part of the equation is, and this is where it's going to get a little convoluted, the only trepidation that I'm seeing, I being 100% confident saying that Anderson goes to Yamaha, is because he's been a long-time Rockstar guy.
Yeah.
And he has a very good affiliate relationship with them. Even though Rockstar got bought out by Pepsi, he still has a good affiliation with them. In fact, I haven't talked to Bobby Hewitt about this, but if I were to connect the dots, I would have thought that it would be a Honda Rockstar program that Bobby was putting together, which would be a perfect sidestep for Anderson, because he's still pissed that Bobby got axed out of his own team at Rockstar. Mm-hmm. So now that we know that Bobby's team is not going to happen, how much money are they going to put into Anderson's pocket to offset the money he's going to lose at Rockstar to go to a monster team? That's going to be a big key. I honestly think Anderson really has nowhere else to go except either stay at Husky, which is still an option, or go to Cowie. But if he goes to Cowie, he loses Rockstar. That's going to be the pieces in the pie. This isn't the first time we've heard, go back to James Stewart, very big Red Bull athlete. At the time, he couldn't go to Honda when Honda wanted him because they had muscle milk.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is one of the big reasons why James never went to Honda. So people don't understand when these teams do an agreement like that, and then you have somebody like I'm going to pull someone unrelated, like a Jeremy McGrath who has a brand ambassador deal with, let's say, Monster. Well, that hurts their ability to bring another rider in because you've got to buy them out of that lost opportunity of money. So that's why I'm not saying Anderson's a done deal. What I'm thinking is Anderson is in a good situation because Husky, Cowie, neither one of them, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but when Anderson's deal with Husky, the first year that he won, in his contract was his salary immediately doubled. Huh. So if he's making $1 million that first year when he won it, he got a guaranteed. Well, now he's probably getting $500,000 a year. Now, put yourself in this situation. Is Cowie going to be able to afford $500,000 for Anderson? Yeah, they just got rid of Tomac for $2.5 million. So they've got some money to play with, which was what leads me to think that Cowie may go to a 3-man team because they have a lot more money left over. That's my personal opinion.
Crazy thing
going
is,
back.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that if Anderson stays at Husky, crazy thing is like, and we've kind of all been talking about this in our group chat. Who do they go with? Because there's not a lot of people available. Because there's
for Kawasaki.
Yeah, for like people like who's available to pick up. Because if Anderson stays at Husky, you know, I haven't said the Mookie thing, but you know, I do agree with you guys. I don't see a Stewart ever going back to Kawasaki. Fortner's not going to get bumped up unless, in my opinion, the only way he does is if he just annihilates everybody outdoors. But even then, it's a little sketchy. So then you're looking at, well, who do you got? Like who are you bringing there?
I think if the number 6 has a good outdoor season, he might have a shot.
But the problem,
he's already signed with Star for one more year next year. He's already signed at a 250 level.
That's that Supercross title.
Yep. Well, and that's,
so for me, the guy that has to be brought into the mix is Christian Craig. Yeah. Because if you look at Christian Craig, he's in a perfect situation. He could jump over to Cowie 450. Yeah. He could jump to Husky 450, or he could go up to Star 450. Because if you look at this year, they had Plessinger, Ferrandis, and Mookie. Now they've got Tomac and Ferrandis. Well, they already are. I think Mookie's making like $300K. So to bring Craig up to the Star 450, not a bad idea. You got to remember Husky now has an opening because Wilson's gone. So Craig could jump over there if Anderson goes to Cowie. So I personally believe Christian Craig is going to be the guy that is going to be when all the musical chairs stop, Anderson goes to either Cowie or stays at Husky. Then that opens up for him to go over to either Cowie or Yamaha. If he likes the program at Yamaha, then that opens up the opportunity at Cowie. I hate to say it, but I do believe that Forkner would probably get the first nod if he has a solid outdoors, like you said.
Yep.
But that's how the musical chairs will stop.